Hello and welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today going to do a wee scouting player analysis video regarding a player that is said to be on Celtic's radar for the summer transfer window. Potentially very exciting attacking midfielder called Eduard Spertsyan, who is currently playing in the Russian league for FC Krasnodar. He is an Armenian international, 25 caps with 4 international goals for Armenia, and has both Armenian, German and Russian heritage. He is a player said to be very keen to leave Russian football and move on to play on the full European stage. Something, of course, which at the moment playing for a Russian league side, he is barred from doing due to sanctions and bans on Russian football teams currently. Celtic have been said to be scouting him very intensely recently, and he has actually in the past been on the verge of transfers to Newcastle and Ajax. In particular, Newcastle appeared to be lining up a £13 million transfer last year, but that fell through. He's also been heavily scouted by AC Milan and a series of Italian clubs, but it does appear that the interest from the highest echelon clubs in Europe appears to have died away for one reason or another, and it now appears that Celtic are pushing forward potentially to be one of the favourites to get his signature in the summer. And as I said, Spertsyan very keen to move on and further his career, which he feels is stagnating a bit in the Russian leagues with Krasnodar. So I've put together a little set of extracts from some scouting videos available elsewhere on YouTube, and would suggest having a full look at the full versions of those scouting videos. Primarily one from a channel called Brazil Scout, but there are a number of other available videos and highlights and goal videos from Spertsyan, already much worthwhile having a look at. And I've also done some research online, primarily through transfermarket.com, one of the leading football stat sites, and also a couple of other relevant sites. So just going to pop in the highlight reel for Spertsyan's recent time in the Russian league, and then we'll have a chat about his stats and how I think he would fit into Celtic and what his good points and bad points are. So that was Eduard Spertsyan, currently of FC Krasnodar in the Russian League. Spertsyan is 23 years old, 5'11" in height, and as I said earlier, current Armenian international with 25 caps and 4 goals for the full Armenian international side. He's been at FC Krasnodar for a number of years, working his way up through the teams, and has been in the first team, in essence, on a regular basis for the last 3 years or so. And last season, his stats and performances were especially strong, which is why he was close to signing for Newcastle, Ajax, and a number of Italian clubs. Interest this year does appear to have reduced. At one point, he was valued at 18 million euros, but now it's thought that the asking price from Krasnodar would be somewhere around 7 million up to 10 million, and so would be at the upper end, I think, of Celtic's transfer fee range. But I personally think that Spertsyan is a superb player, just at the start of the peak years of his career. I think he's a player who could come to Celtic, be an absolute superstar for us for a couple of years, and then move on inevitably to the richer leagues with tons more money, tons more prestige. But I think he would be a player who would be an absolute superstar for us in Scotland, and would be a strong player for us in Europe, and maybe the one to kickstart us moving into the knockout stages in Europe. Just a wee bit more of his stats in terms of his time for FC Krasnodar first team: 99 games, 30 goals, 23 assists. Has had 3 Champions League games also for FC Krasnodar, and so has had experience at the highest level, as well as his international experience. And this season for Krasnodar, 24 games, 8 goals, 5 assists. He also, interestingly, has quite high stats for yellow cards, and so for a primarily attacking midfielder, he does actually get himself mixed in with the rough and tumble and battling and tackles of midfield. And so does appear to be a good all-around player. Primarily plays that attacking midfield role, and so would be a player potentially to replace Matt O'Reilly, as seems likely he will be off to one of the rich leagues this summer. And I think if we could get Spertsyan for 10, 11 million pounds and get 25 to 30 for Matt O'Reilly, as is said to be the asking price for him, I think that would be excellent business for Celtic all around. Spertsyan primarily attacking midfield, but can play out wide, so could fit into being a replacement on occasions for Maeda, Kuhn, Palma, Yang, etc. And I think he also could play as a second striker behind Kyogo, or one of the taller centre forward style players. And I think he all around would be an excellent player for Celtic. And I would be delighted if Celtic did pursue him this transfer window coming up in the summer. Now, looking at the actual videos and a wee bit of the scouting material online regarding Spertsyan, he clearly is a very, very good passer, excellent passing through defences, which, of course, in Scottish football can be a very key thing to be able to do. Excellent vision, seems to have a brilliant 360 view of the pitch and know what's happening all around him, and sees the perfect pass through to his teammates. Very creative player, excellent distribution, very good finisher as well, definite threat at direct free kicks, very, very efficient penalty taker as well. I was struck by just how many penalty kicks Spertsyan has scored for Krasnodar in the last couple of seasons, and that hopefully is something that Celtic can put to great use if we did sign him. Very good on the ball, very good off the ball, quick thinking, quick over that first 5-10 metres to get to the ball or to get to the challenge, and once he's free, has a lot of pace to drive through the middle or drive down the wings. Also, does appear to be able to hold off a challenge, does appear to be a good tackler as well, winning the ball back and keeping hold of it. Does seem good also at getting free kicks in the attacking zone, using his pace and brilliant ability to dribble and work with the ball. The main area that is said to be a weakness for him is in the air, which is a wee bit surprising given the fact he is 5'11" and so should have better ability in the air. But I think any lack of quality for aerial duels and for scoring with his head is offset by his excellent ability in scoring and creating goals, and also, when required, battling for the ball in midfield. So for me, Eduard Spertsyan looks like an ideal player to come to Celtic. As I said, Celtic do appear to be at the head of the queue currently for signing him in the summer. He's keen to leave Russian football. He's keen to move on to play fully in European games. And I think he would bring to Celtic a piece of magic that we haven't really had since Jota stopped playing for us, and reminds me also quite a bit of a great player of yesteryear, Lubomir Moravcik. For those older viewers of the channel, Moravcik has always been one of my favourite players, and there was quite a lot of scepticism when he came to the club, but he very quickly showed what a brilliant player he was, a wee bit of a mercurial player, but incredibly creative, and also scored a lot of brilliant goals for Celtic. And I think Spertsyan, if he did come to us, would be a very similar success at the club. And of course, unlike Moravcik, would be coming to the club much younger, with the potential to improve further and further. As I said, his value on the market has been going down, was 18 million euros at its peak, but now dropping. It's thought to be in the range of 7 to 10, and I think that would be very good money spent for Celtic if we did go for that. Of course, we'd be delighted to see what you feel yourselves watching this video and also doing further research of Spertsyan in terms of his stats and other video highlights. And do feel free to pop your own comments in the comment section. Do feel free, as always, to click that like button. And if you are new to the channel and you've enjoyed the video, please do click the subscribe button. Get the subscribe numbers carrying on their slow climb up to 500. So that finishes off the wee scouting video for Spertsyan, a player I think we need to watch out for over the next few months in preparation for the summer transfer window. And so for today, goodbye and hail, hail.